Hi guys, so I've decided to do a video on how to just get up and go travelling with barely any money, because I've been travelling for 13 years on and off now, and so many people ask me how I do it without saving forever and ever and ever and without any money, and how I just pick up and go, or how I keep myself sustainable while I'm away. So I thought I would do a video, and any comments that you want to write or anything, or any questions that you have, and feel free to put them below and I can try and answer them or give you some advice and help you. So as you can guess from my accent, I'm from England. I'm 30 years old now. I've been travelling since I was 17, 18. And my mum keeps reminding me that I booked a ticket and got on a plane with just £500, and for some reason managed to just stay travelling from then onwards, I guess. So if you're at home now and you're like, oh, I just want to go travelling, I'm so sick of this 9-to-5 job, or whatever, and you want to get away but you've barely got any money, this is what I would advise that you do. So I'm going to get my wine first. Can't do anything about a glass of wine. So set yourself a time limit and stick to that time limit, and if you tell everyone that time limit, you almost put yourself under pressure to stick to that time limit. So say to yourself, right, I want to be out of here within 1 to 3 months. So look at your current wages, your current job, whatever that wage may be, you want to try and double it if you can. I mean, unless you're earning thousands of pounds each month anyway, then you probably won't need to. You just need to cut down your spending. So, for instance, when I first went travelling, I had 3, I think maybe 4 jobs actually before I went. So I worked during the day in an office. I then performed at night time, I taught at the weekends, and I worked behind a bar. Now, that sounds crazy and it sounds really hard work, but honestly it wasn't. It was super fun, and because I knew I was only going to do it for a short amount of time, then it didn't really bother me. It wasn't like a lifelong thing. I still had a social life, believe it or not. I still managed to afford to go out and drink. I mean, not like spend hundreds of pounds, but, again, you set yourself a limit, or you drink before you go out, or you sneak some vodka into a water bottle when you go out. You shop at Primark for a while, chuck that designer crap away or sell it on eBay. Anything that you've got that you don't need, sell it on eBay. It's so easy nowadays with a smartphone to just take pictures and put it on eBay instantly, and then set up a PayPal account and you get the money straight away. So there's absolutely no excuses in that term. If you come home from work knackered after your 9-to-5 job, doesn't matter. It's only going to be for a month to 3 months. Just get on it. Go and find some more jobs and just work your butt off, because then you're going to have this amazing trip travelling where you're not going to have to work at all. You can party as much as you want, lay in as much as you want, relax, do activities, whatever you want. So just think it's short term. That's the mentality you've got to have. So once you've got that money, best site for flights is Skyscanner. Okay, you can check other ones, Google flights if you want, but honestly, Skyscanner has been my go-to place for one. I haven't really found anywhere cheaper. Now, depending on where you want to go is a real big deal. If you want to come to Australia first time, unless you have saved up a lot of money, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not good for low budgets. Good place to start would be Central America, anywhere in Asia pretty much, except for Singapore, that's really expensive. Middle East, I wouldn't recommend yet, because some places are super expensive, like Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Oman. They're quite expensive for backpacking. Depending on how you're going to travel. I mean, I have a backpack, but I'm not really a backpacker, I guess. I still like to stay in nice places if I can afford it. If I can't afford it, then I have to go into a guest house or hostel. Hostel. So, first things first, get yourself a few jobs, set yourself a day, work your butt off, and move back to your parents if you have to. Go find a cheaper room to rent, share a room for a month if you have to. Just do anything you can to cut everything down. Another thing I wouldn't recommend is going travelling with debt. Student loans are different, but any other debt, pay it off first. I didn't travel with a credit card for the first 10 years of my travels. Actually, longer than that. For the first 11, 12 years of my travels. I only got one recently, in the last 2 years, because when I went to the US, when I went to book a hire car or just book a flight, they just wanted credit cards over there. They wouldn't take debit cards. So if you can go without a credit card, that's good. However, sometimes if you're you've got a lot of willpower and you won't use your credit card, it's good to have for emergencies, in case you run into trouble, in case your card won't get taken, for hire car bursaries and deposits. So it's not a no-no, it's just don't use a credit card to spend money, have a debit card. So you book your flights wherever you're going. Don't worry about accommodation. I'd probably say maybe book something super cheap in the closest centre to town you can find. So wherever you're going, look on Lonely Planet, look on Rough Guides, do your research on the internet before you go, find out where all the backpackers go, and that's purely just for cost-wise at first. Just for cost-wise, just the first 2 nights, so you can go there, sleep, you're around everything, so you haven't got to pay for taxis or anything. Go out, socialise, get to know people, find out the good places to go. Then start prioritising where you're going to spend your money. So, for me, and this is just my life, unless I'm in a super cheap country like India or Thailand or Indonesia where I can eat for like £1 a night, then I normally go to a supermarket and cook my own food, and then I spend money on socialising, so that would include drinking and tourist trips, so things like that, because I'm never going to get to do those tourist trips again, and unfortunately this does equal good banter and making friends, which is a shame. But if you can go without this, then even cheaper, and then you'll be able to spend some money on a bit of food. I definitely recommend spending a bit of money on going out to eat, but just not every night and every meal of the day. You can go and get yourself a cereal and cheap plastic bowl and spoon to have cereal in the morning, or fruit, anything healthy, and lunchtime could be like wraps or something, or street food. And then evenings, if you want to spend some money, then you can do it on that. Just make sure you keep the cost down. Write everything down, not necessarily every day, but when you're walking around, make a mental note. Oh, right, that dinner cost this amount of money. Alcohol here costs this amount of money. That tourist trip is this amount of money. Then, when you come to make a decision whether you're going to spend money on eating or eating out, or on a tourist trip, you can see what priorities you have. You might have met a really cool bunch of people and the tourist trip looks a bit lame, so you might want to go out and have a nice dinner with them, and then the next day go on a different tourist trip and just have drinks on your hostel rooftop or something like that. So it's really important that you prioritise what you want to do. A lot of people throw money away on things like researching enough to different tourist trips and different deals you can get, and doing enough research on the internet. Another good thing is do things like cab shares and ride shares. So when you meet other travellers and you want to do the same trip, but you don't want to go with a tour company because they're expensive, you can normally do it yourself. So you can find some other people, arrange a price of a taxi driver, it's super cheap, and you all split the cost. It's so much cheaper that way as well. So there's, for your first few days and first few months before you go travelling, a few little tips to keep an eye on. And I'll check in soon and see how you're getting on.